OOTP. Not to be confused with OTP. OOTP, Order of the Phoenix. OTP, One True Pairing. So, I've decided that we're going to watch, well, I've already watched, and I'm going to explain why Harry Potter and the Orders of the Phoenix is the best movie in the franchise. So we're just gonna get into it, okay? Because you don't need an explanation for why this movie is so good. So, fade to light, and we see bullying amongst a gang of ruffians. Wizard, aged 15, Harry Potter, is currently undergoing abuse by his cousin Dudley Dursley. He is a menace to the neighborhood children. We're getting like dialogue between the two, and like things are happening, and then suddenly the sky then turns to like a black, and like a gradient just like washes over the screen to like this twilight-esque color. Okay, so after Dudley's been harassing Harry, now he's the only one left on this playground with Harry Potter aged 15. For some reason, Dudley just decides not to run with his friends. He just decides to stay with Harry. I mean, smart move to be honest, but also not smart. But you know, whatever. Then we get like this abhorrent like camera running scene, which I hate. I don't know if people actually like this. I hate this, which is not a good word to start a video about why it's my favorite. But you know, you get it. It's very fan footage esque for some reason. Anyway, so we've got Harry and Dudley, and they're running away from the storm. The weather's changing. They go into a tunnel and the lights flicker. As soon as they're like in the tunnel, something chokeslams Harry, and it turns out it's a Dementor. Yeah, the ones from Prisoner of Azkaban, you know, like them. And then so Harry's like against the wall, and Dudley's getting mouth to mouth from Kim Kardashian on the floor. But that's neither here or there, because like straight after Harry like Expecto Petroleum's them or whatever, and he like basically like sends a Dementor flying, and then they're basically like okay, I guess, but like Dudley's not really okay, like he's on the floor like not being okay, and then this squib called Miss Fig appears. Right, we'll get into that, but like I just want to say like, can Harry not go like 5 minutes into like any of the movies without getting himself into shit? Like it's actually wild. Like people hit this boy, and for what? He's an orphan. Leave him alone, okay? Oh, is it cause he's an orphan? Question mark. Anyway, Miss Fig appears, and then she's basically like leading Harry back. And Harry's like, how do you know about all this? You know? And she explains like Dumbledore like told me to keep an eye on you, Harry, okay? And we want to look at the implications of this, because why would Mr. Albus here, why would he hire a squib to look after him? Like, why would he ask Miss Fig Newtons to look over him? That's like actually like diabolical behavior. Like she had a mindset. She went there into the tunnel with her granny basket, her shopping trolley, and she was like, you want a piece of Harry? You're gonna get a piece of my fist, you know? So then they like head back, and Vernon opens the fridge, and I only note this time because that fridge looks so good. Like it looks so full. You know, like do you ever get like turned on by like a full fridge? Like it just looks really, really delicious, you know? Anyway, Vernon, Dudley's father, is then like proceeding to have a mental breakdown. And then comes a letter from an owl, and like this letter is like alive, like in Chamber of Secrets. And it's like literally so cunty. For what? Well, I'll tell you for what. Because Harry casted petroleum spell at the beginning, it basically causes him to fire himself from Hogwarts. And like, you can't do underage magic, Harry. You should have known that. But you decided to do it and save your cousin. You know what we're gonna do at the Ministry? We're gonna be like, leave Hogwarts, yeah. However, like later we see like after the events of Goblet of Fire, you know, where like Cedric dies, like Harry's like still traumatized. So like Vernon and Petunia like go to take Dudley to somewhere, I don't know where. Like, yeah. And then Harry's like having a nightmare at night, and then he then is later saved by insert movie title here. So there's this like little montage of them flying, and then they arrive at Nine Grimmauld Place. Also, like Nine Grimmauld Place is like super cool, okay? It's like this house, and it's like nested between two of the houses, and it's just like really cool the way it's animated. So anyway, Harry's having a little wander, and he investigates like the place, and then he like comes across a creature called, well, not a creature, a goblin or like an elf, I forgot which one it is. Anyway, he comes across a creature called Creature, that I personally think resembles like a scrotum or whatever. Anyway, he then enters another room after being harassed by midget scrotum, and suddenly there's a jump scare. And we pan to a booktooth Hermione over here as she jumps out of him. Like, fucking hell, Hermione, like, chill. Anyway, it turns out, like, that Dumbledore, like, didn't want Harry knowing anything that happens during summer. And he's just, like, throwing a tantrum. And he's, like, whining, like, no one wants to pay attention to him. And it's just, like, okay, like, I felt bad for you earlier. You know, you're always getting your shit beaten and stuff. But, like, nobody likes the drama queen Harry, and also no one likes the attention seeker. So like, just hush, little orphan boy. So now we like skip to this ragtag gang of gingers and orphans and big tooth gals, and like they're all like being nosy and like spying. And then Hermione's cat just like ruins it as usual, or whatever. Then we see like Arthur, and it looks like he's like struggling like to like settle between like this work-life balance, and there's like clear like incapabilities that like he is struggling. Okay, he cannot uphold this mortgage by himself. And afterwards, then we like have another chit chat with the grown-ups this time and the younguns, and Harry then like soon discovers that like the Minister of Magic Fudge, which is like such a funny name, like like what possesses you to name a character Fudge, you know? It's so interesting. And it's also kind of a shit name. But anyway, Fudge, the Minister of Magic, is like trying to like smear Harry and Dumbledore's name, and like he's like basically spreading lies about Harry and Dumbledore, saying like, oh, they're like spreading lies about Voldemort. It's like a very, very bitchy situation, okay? It's like he said, what said? Yeah. Anyway, so it's been a while, and it's been wild. But it has been a while since, actually, I don't think it's been a while. It's been like a day since he got that letter or whatever about like him leaving Hogwarts. And then suddenly like he's got a meeting in the ministry, well, a court hearing, and he goes with Arthur to the Ministry of Magic, and Arthur is just like absolutely like shook by modern inventions, okay? And then Fudge like changes Harry's hearing time. So Harry's there on time, okay? He's ready, he's set, he's go. But then Fudge changes it for some reason, and it's mainly just so like hoping that no one will be able to turn up to Harry's defense. But lo and behold, there is a witness to his defense. Albus motherfucking Percival, Wulfric Brian, Dumbledore. I'll say it again. Albus, Percival, Wulfric Brian, Dumbledore. Okay, R.I.P. Michael Gambon. But literal chills, guys. Like when Dumbledore enters, like you feel his presence, okay? Like you feel it, and you feel it good, okay? And also, like, his clothes are so cute, like, so girly pop. Like, oh my god, like, do you see them? So, anywho, the meeting is basically just these old people being angry at little Harry here because he used magic outside school. And I kind of equate this to, like, I guess, underage smoking, you know, and getting caught. So yeah, that's why it's so ridiculous. You know, we got this big ass hearing, and it's clear like the Minister of Magic just wants to like stir shit up with Harry, who's like a 15-year-old boy, by the way. Like this guy's like 60 or something. Like chill. Anyway, Fudge is giving him shit like, "Oh, you don't have any witness," and then Dumbledore's like, "Yeah, bitch, what? What do you say? What do you say? We have a witness. It was Miss Squibb, okay?" And then they call her to the stand. And she comes and she arrives, or she's just sat there on a chair. But she does witness the crime, obviously, and she's like describing the Dementors or whatever, like one's large, one's big, or whatever. But like, yeah, we get it. It's like she's being a witness and stuff. You know what witnesses do. But what's funny to me, and I'm gonna go back to that point, like, why? Why Dumbledore? Why would you hire this squib who can't even do magic to protect Harry, or like even just see over him? Like, if something happens, like, it's just crazy planning on his behalf. Like, could he not have just like got any order member? Like, Harry does not know all of them. Okay. Anyway, they're talking about Dementors and stuff, and then this bitch looking like a psycho interrupts Dumbledore, and you know how that goes. Okay. So Cornelius, like, that's his first name, by the way. Cornelius Fudge. He still won't believe Voldemort is alive, and it's mainly because he's just like delusional as shit. And then the hearing like eventually ends with Harry being like acquitted of all charges because the charge was dumb anyway. Like he literally like just does like a little bit of magic and like, oh yeah, we're gonna pick you up on that, yeah. So now they're like off to Hogwarts. So we're getting that Hogwarts scene. And Harry sees Sirius just before he leaves. And he shows like a photograph of like the original Order of the Phoenix in like an MP4 format. It's quite sad actually, but it's in like a nice heart to heart moment between the two of them. And there's literally like not enough of them to like throughout the movies, which irks me because like if they had just like built it a bit better, I feel like later it'd been even more impactful. But there is like a lot of communication between the two, but not enough. Not me literally like Loki just forgetting like Prisoner of Azkaban was a movie that was literally about the two of them. Ooh, okay. Well, there it is. So they arrive at Hogwarts and like Malfoy's like giving him shit as usual. And then it's important to see like what important to note is in this movie is the first time he can see the characters being moved by Thestrals. So like Thestrals are like magical creatures that like basically only people who have seen death can see it. And because Harry saw Cedric die in Goblet of Fire, he can now see the Thestrals, okay? And so can Looney Lovegood, who we're also introduced to by Miss Hermione. And like we then skip to like the Great Hall scene. And can I just say, like, I would actually like fucking kill for like a Hogwarts ASMR mukbang video. Cause this fucking food. What? Like, look at that profiterole cake. That's literally insane. That's like diabetes injected into your veins. It looks so decadently hot in like the attractive sense, not the temperature sense. So then we have Umbridge serving fantastic fuchsia. And yes, I'm in the Roblox hat. She's being like shaded by the young guns in the hall, but honestly, like she looks so good in pink. And I can't like those colors are really serving like founding father cute, but I don't think they're like Dumbledore cute, more like George Washington cute, you know? So the ministry is like fingering Hogwarts, and like they shouldn't because you shouldn't bite left hand that fingers you or whatever. Anyway, it's causing like issues, but like drama. We then skip to the common room. Okay, I know that was like a really weird skip, but like basically, Umbridge is just like causing shit as usual, and she's basically just saying like the ministry's taking over, and then there's a whole thing that Hermione's being dramatic about it. And then Harry enters the common room, and people are like being so evil to him, and they're like giving him dirty looks. Like apropos though, like they are sheep, so you know appropriate because they all believe the Fudge and the Ministry and the Daily Prophet, and they're basically saying like Harry's a fucking liar, so is Dumbledore, and they believe them. Okay, wild, I know. So then Harry calls Seamus's mother stupid. And this is like literally a world of magic. And they both just looked like they were going to get into like a fist fight first. Like, hello? Then we like have the first of many sweat scenes, which is so gross. Okay. But also like cool at the same time. Also, like, why is Harry just like constantly lathered in sweat in this movie? Like, he looks ill. Is he okay? Seriously, they made him like far too like for lack of a better word wet. Like he looks like he's like took a dive into the Black Lake or something. So then they're in Umbridge's lesson the next morning where Harry's getting a bit angry. Anyway, he is then served with like a cease and detention. Okay, so I love the way the Ministry like just like forcibly tries to take over Hogwarts in this movie, like through Umbridge, and it's like one of my like many reasons like for loving this movie because we see more of the like wizard government and like what they always do. Like I mean, what the government always just do, like you know, silencing the truth. Oh, that was so deep. That was actually so deep. Anyway. Umbridge's room is very on brand too, as it should be. It's all pink. I'm actually like surprised her pens aren't pink though. Like I did pick up on this, and like I'm kind of disappointed with Skull. I won't lie. Like you've got like the aesthetic going on. I mean, I get it. Like it kind of does work. Honestly, the pink and the copper. I get it. I get the vision, but if you're gonna stick to a color and stick to a theme, just like stick to it. You know, be brave. And she's then like being evil. I don't know why she has to be evil, okay? Like, I feel like she could serve equal amounts of as other characters if she just wasn't a massive fucking asshole. Anyway, she then leaves Harry like physically scarred from the detention, which is wild. Like, this is not the 18th century, okay? Like, why is poor. Also, why is it always the orphan that's getting picked on? Like, constantly. It's so diabolical, this movie. So then Harry and Sirius resort to medieval texting back and forth, and it's kind of like sad. Like Harry just like feels so alone, and it's such like a teenager emotion in it. It just feeds back into that coming of age vibe that Harry Potter gives. And then like Harry goes into the forest. I think it's the day after, and or that same day. And he then learns about Thestrals and stuff like that from Luna. And Luna getting screen time is just always great. Like it's great to see her. And we kind of get a polar opposite reaction. Like it's really antithetical. Oh my god, that's such a fancy word. Like it's really antithetical to like the previous scene we just had where like Seamus was giving him shit and everyone in the common room was just side-eyeing him like really horribly. Like not in the viral way, like just being assholes, you know. Anyway, like Luna's then just explaining like she believes him and her father does. And she tells him how like it kind of like well she explains like Voldemort probably wants like Harry to feel alone. But then this scene makes Harry not feel alone, which is so like interesting. Well, so great. Firstly, R.I.P. Maggie Smith. That's another R.I.P. Holy shit. Anyway, she is so good in this scene. I love her. I miss her so much. Like, you know they fucked up when McGonagall out here getting messy. Like, she's so uninvolved. Well, she's involved, but like not in the controversial way, you know? Like, if she is being controversial, it's for the good reasons. Anyway, she's getting messy. Anyways, so they're like getting like beefy. Like they're fighting. Okay, the girls are out. They're fighting. Anyway, then we're getting this montage of like Umbridge just being a bitch, I guess. Actually, no. Like, I take back what I said. Like this scene of Umbridge is so mother. Like she's like out here just like correcting people and like stopping the PDA. Like nobody wants to see that anywhere. So like, you know, thank you. And then this like fucking this scene with like Alan Rickman and Snape and Umbridge is so funny because like he's just like draped in the like darkest fabrics, and then you just have this bitch in the fucking potions classroom with the brightest fucking pink on, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, it looks so funny, and like Umbridge is like starting to take this headmaster role. You know, she's like trying to piss off the teachers, and yeah. It's not really it though. Like I won't lie, it's not really it. Mainly because like she's stepping on Dumbledore's toes, and Dumbledore's toes are not to be stepped on. Guys, I really have no idea what I'm saying sometimes. Like, I'm really ill right now as well. So, there's that too. So, yeah, she's taking on like this headmaster role. And she starts installing ridiculous rules to like isolate the students. And it's like under the guise of like the benefit of the ministry, but she's like causing a ruckus and being such a cow. She then like attempts to banish Trelawney, who's played by Emma Thompson, from the grounds. And then the doors like open and Dumbledore appears. Yeah. Hello. Like, where were you all this time? Anyway, my fave like deals with her, and like he tells her like she isn't allowed to do that, and she's literally not the headmaster, just some fuck ass lame ass wannabe. It was kind of cool though, because like Dumbledore is like sort of the only teacher she doesn't really try to fuck with. Except like during the excerpt of her like doing all the crap, like in the beginning where she's like talking over him. I think it's like mainly like because of the levels in rank. And she knows she's lower than him. So like she doesn't want to go out of her way to piss him off. But she is still pissing him off though, isn't she? Anyway, she does like try to like hang the ministry over his head anytime he does confront her. So there's that as well, I guess. Anyway, in the evening that day, Harry, Ron, and Hermione all talk to Sirius again. He informs them like just Fudge, and then Sirius like informs them like Fudge doesn't want them to know how to like fight, and like Voldemort is on the move, whatever that means. I guess like he's getting his steps in. Anyway, they skip to Hogsmeade then, where like Harry then begins to like form what is later known as Dumbledore's army, and he's like Harry's teaching like a collection of students like how to do magic because Umbridge like basically won't teach them actual spells as a defense against the Dark Arts teacher. And a lot of them are like apprehensive in the beginning, but they eventually do join. And Harry is like kind of a good teacher to have, I guess. I mean, like he did murder his professor at the age of 11, so if there's anyone to pick as a teacher, it's probably him, you know, out of the students anyway. And they're walking back anyway from the meeting, and then Umbridge is like at the top of the courtyard, and she's just looking down, and they're very, very suspicious. Like she's like, anyway, they eventually have to like find a place to train, obviously, and then Neville finds the room of requirement, which is basically like a room that gives people whatever they need the most. So, like Ron gave an example, like if you need to shit, yeah, it'd probably like turn into a toilet, which is great, honestly. So they like training and stuff, but like the crazy thing is Umbridge is like struggling to catch up, and it's mainly because of the room. It keeps changing. It's basically like protecting them. It's really cool. And she starts to torment students for more info. Neville learns Expelliarmus during this like whole training sequence, and then they break for winter. And then Harry and Cho have a little bit of a speech, and Harry has like sweaty dreams again, and he then like gets taken into Dumbledore's office and escorted by McGonagall. He's basically like informing Dumbledore, like, Arthur's about to die. You need to help him, please. Like, send someone to the ministry, because Harry has a dream where he's, I think, Nagini, the snake, Voldemort's snake, and he starts like attacking Arthur. Then Dumbledore becomes paranoid. Like, he does like teleportrates or whatever. Like, go tell people to like help Arthur or something. And then Dumbledore like has Snape take Harry to learn occlumency, to like basically like defend his mind against Voldemort, so he can't like get possessed. And he's like sweating more and more as usual. Then we cut to Grimmauld Place, and it's like Christmas, and yeah, so we're with the Weasels now, and like fuck me, that turkey looks good. I can't lie. Like this movie has a lot of good food. Okay. And we have another Harry serious moment where they're like talking about how he feels like he's turning evil because you know Voldemort keeps like affecting him, and he has that dream about Arthur and stuff like that. And he feels like he's turning evil, and then like Sirius just shows him like we all have like a light and dark inside of us, and it's like up to us which we choose to turn to. And it's like really a nice quote from the franchise. Like they do have a lot of these kinds of quotes, and they're like pretty cool. So then we're back to Hogwarts, where they go to Hagrid's and they see the Pink Lady there. I won't even mention her name because I'm scared of her. Anyway, so Hagrid's like just talking about how Dumbledore asked him to like go parlay with the Giants and stuff because Dumbledore's trying to get allies as well. So after that scene, there's like a breaking news headline, and like Bellatrix escapes along a couple others, and the ministry obviously just blame on Sirius because they're related, and it's very giving like this is very much like giving there's a terrorist attack, so we'll just like blame on Muslims. Ooh, that was like deeply political. Okay, that was like serious. Okay, ooh. Anyway, they're all training in the room of requirement again after break, and then they hear the chandelier shake by Sia, and they then see Umbridge blow up a side of the room with Bombarda Maxima. So Umbridge then just like takes them all to like Dumbledore's office, and this is literally my favorite fucking scene. Okay, there's very few that trump the scene. All these like little politicians think they're the shit. They think they have shit on Dumbledore. And Umbridge is like saying like Dumbledore's like trying to take over the ministry, even though my guy was literally already offered the position and he like declined it. And then like Dumbledore takes responsibility for Dumbledore's army, obviously, which is kind of a dumb name in hindsight. But anyway, he takes all full responsibility for it. And then Dawlish, this little ugly aura, he tries to like escort Dumbledore to Azkaban. And yeah, Dumbledore's like, yeah, no, thank you. Like, you're all right. And then, like, boom, clap the sound of my heart. The beat goes on and on and on and on and on. And he, like, disappears with Fawkes. And they all just, like, get blasted. And then Kingsley, like, my God. He's like, Dumbledore's got style. And, like, he did literally just fuck them up without doing shit. Like, they really thought they were going to arrest him. Hello? This is, like, the equivalent to, like, trying to slap like Dumbledore, it's like the equivalent to trying to slap Voldemort in like handcuffs. Anyway, after leaving, Dumbledore's role is then supplanted by like Umbridge, and Harry's relationship with Cho crumbles, which I never understood. It's not her fault. She was like force-fed Veritaserum, which we find out later. And I've never understood what happens to them after. Like, it's just such a weird fall off, and it makes no sense. Like, are we just gonna forget each other now? Okay, I guess. Okay, so now they meet grow. Yeah, okay. So after this, they meet grow up, which is Hagrid's like giant brother or half giant or whatever. And Hagrid like tells him, "Can you just like look after him while he's gone? Because now Dumbledore's gone, he's probably not gonna have a reason to stay." And then afterwards, they're like all doing the examinations, and Fred and George like interrupt with some really cool fireworks. They use then the gang, the trio, the golden trio, use this as like like a little decoy. And they, because Harry like basically faints while he's watching fireworks because he's like dramatic, and then they go to the Food Powder Network in Umbridge's office, and this is because he like sees Sirius captured by Voldemort when he faints, and he's in the Department of Mysteries. So Umbridge catches them, and she asks Snape for Veritaserum, and this is when we find out that she's used it all on Miss Cho Chang, but then Harry like secretly relays the information to Snape, which is so important. And he's like saying he's got Padfoot where it is hidden. Padfoot being Sirius. That's like his like Animagus name, right? Yeah. Then Hermione, a master of lies. Okay, she's a master at this. She baits Umbridge to grow up by like saying Dumbledore had a secret weapon hidden there, and then girl, like the secret weapon was the friends we made along the way. Then Umbridge like beefs with some centaurs, and then she tries to take them on, and it just goes wild. Everything's happening, and Grope just like grabs her, and then the centaurs run off with her. They all then link up with like Luna, Ginny, Ron, and Neville on the bridge. And they like decide to use Thestrals, which is so funny because no one else can see it except Luna and Harry. So to everyone else, they like just like flying invisible, which like it must have been so fucking frightening. Hello. Anyway, they arrive at the Department of Mysteries and they're looking for the prophecy. They find it, but then like Death Eaters are also there, and it turns out it's surprise Lucius Malfoy joined by Bellatrix, and they like try to fight off the Death Eaters as best as possible using like things they learned earlier from the Room of Requirement. And then all the like prophecies just like start to fall, and they fall through like a door. No, the prophecies, the children fall through a door that they find into a like an empty like pit of like a room, and there's like an empty archway, and the Death Eaters just like start capturing everything, and they capture everyone but Harry conveniently. So the Death Eaters like currently like holding Harry's friends hostage in return for the prophecy. Anywho, they're like tormenting Harry, and then like we just like hear Sirius and he appears, and the next like 10-20 minutes of this movie are so good. Like we then like see all these like really skilled wizards just start fighting, like Aurors versus Death Eaters, and then Harry like fights alongside Sirius, and then they disarm Lucius. Like they're fighting against Lucius and another Death Eater, the two. And they do like sort of win, and they disarm him, but then Bella just comes out of nowhere and just fucks him up. Like she like kills Sirius, her cousin, and then Harry just like screams. Apparently, like this scream was like cut out. Well, it wasn't cut out. Like the audio was cut out because apparently, like Daniel, like the actor, had just lost his grandfather, and the like scream felt too visceral and emotional to keep in the movie, so that's why they cut out the actual audio. From what I remember reading, anyway, I don't know if that was true. And then Harry like chases Bellatrix and is prompted by Voldemort to kill her. Like he just appears out of nowhere like a ghast. Okay, like yeah, from Minecraft. He then uses Crucio, but he can't bring himself to do it. And then Voldemort like takes physical form and he appears. And oh my guys, guys. Dumbledore fucking appears. Okay, he appears, and this is just the coolest fucking shit ever. Okay, this is why I love this movie so much. Okay, you have like two of the top wizards head to head. The entire movie was basically like edging us to this moment. We do not get enough wizard battles in this series. Okay, between two wizards anyway, and like this is by far my most favorite battle in the franchise, okay? It's such a stark contrast from like Goblet of Fire, where Harry was struggling against Voldemort. Okay? He could only do it like with the help of the spirits. Okay, the spirits helped him. But like now we see Voldemort who I'd argue is struggling against Dumbledore. And the thing is, Dumbledore's not even fighting to kill, just capture, which is actually insane. And I am literally a loyal Dumbledore glazer. So it's so interesting that at this stage of Wizard's power, like at the stage of at the level of Voldemort and Dumbledore, when they're fighting, they have like just this innate control over the elements, like water, fire, earth, air. Long ago, the four nations lived in harmony. That kind of elements. So rather than casting spells, they kind of just make shit up on the spot. It's so cool. Like we see like this sand converter that Dumbledore makes, and he basically takes all the glass shards that Voldemort throws at him and just turns it into sand. It's so cool. And then like yeah, so that battle is just so fucking wicked. Like I love it, I love it. And then we have like another like shot of like where just before that Dumbledore like puts Voldemort in a water bubble. It's so funny. And it's such a cool spell. And then Voldemort uses Fiend Fire. And it's such like crazy control over it as well, which is what's wild. Anyway, then Harry turns freaky and he like gets possessed by Voldemort. But Harry like fights off the loser anyway because he's been like that entire year he's been spending like learning occlumency, oh, I can't say it, occlumency, whatever. And then the Ministry just like turn up right at the last second and they see Voldemort and like they undergo a mixture of millennial pause and get panic. I guess it's because it's like Ralph who plays Voldemort, so understandable. Anyway, everything goes back to the natural order, and Dumbledore is like reinstated as headmaster. Harry talks to Dumbledore, and at the end, he mentions he like purposely isolated Harry because he was worried that the connection between him and Voldemort was still lingering, and that Voldemort might have been more tempted to possess Harry if he kept like connecting with Harry throughout the entire year. So the movie then ends with like a heartful message where they like, as long as they all have each other, they can like kill Baldy. So that's it. Anyway, that was the movie. That was such a quick recap. I'm like literally my throat hurts so much. So like I wanna like emphasize points more, but like I'm just like, oh, it's really hard to get through this. That's why I like just pick the movie I know well, Anyway, I think this movie is my favorite because I'm just like a sucker for powerful characters. That sounds so fucked up. I was gonna say I am a sucker for powerful characters. Okay, I mean that in like, I love powerful characters, okay? Like, if there's a character with like obscene amounts of power in a franchise, you best believe I'm dick riding them, okay? Like, into oblivion, because why wouldn't I? And I love this movie largely because of how good the final moments of this is. It feels like there's a payoff to things, and like it answers a lot of questions within its own movie runtime without having us have to wait for another movie. Such as like why Dumbledore stayed away from Harry all year, and the Ministry like finally seeing Voldemort, and they can't deny it. Also seeing the downfall of Umbridge is also really satisfying. And it's just a well-rounded Harry Potter movie. I know it's not a lot of people's favorites for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I know there's a lot of points that I probably make as well that pile into the cons of this movie, but I just really, really like it. And yeah, I think another issue I do get with this movie is I feel like I have deja vu watching this movie because I feel like I've already seen scenes before. Like, I was so confused when I was writing the script, like when Hagrid shows them grow up, because they meet Hagrid like 3 times or something in this movie, and I wasn't like, for the first 2 times they just literally, there's no mention of grow up. It's so weird. So I did get that like muddled up, and there's also quite a lot of slow parts. But yeah, in terms of like the deja vu, like other than the Hagrid scene, there's a lot of like such similar scenes, like the room requirement we see a lot, and the way I see it is all these scenes are like like a pre-Christmas break and then a post-Christmas break. And so we see the rumor requirement before like Christmas break and like the build-up, and then after Christmas break is when all the shit happens, basically. That's how I saw it anyway. It kind of like just fixed my brain the way I view this movie, because the scenes do feel repetitive at the time. But honestly, in terms of Umbridge, she was such a good villain. And the fact so many people hate her more than Voldemort, like she's so well written. But if I had to rewrite Umbridge, like real quick, I think it would also be really interesting to see her like play into this almost super nice and like good, like a good teacher role, like just a normal teacher. but have her like secretly be evil. I feel like this would just cause so much more problems between students and teachers and would have been like more scary to me because like you could have had more like problems arise from this. Like maybe the teachers believe the students, some don't. It could have taken a different avenue completely. But I mean, it's also just nice having like just having it like be an absolute bitch too, I guess. But the biggest thing, like the best thing out of this movie was for me, we finally got an insight into Dumbledore's actual skill set. Even though it was only showcased for like a few moments, because we like only get drip fed like throughout the franchise of what he can do. Like when he like arrested Momentum's Harry in Prisoner of Azkaban, and there's probably a couple other things I can't think of right now. Yeah, we don't see a lot of Dumbledore's power. He's just like so like imposing that that's supposed to be his power sometimes. But yeah, actually seeing his power was the best thing. But that's like OOTP, I guess. Like that is Order of the Phoenix. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed. This one was a lot more rushed. Mainly because it's so painful for me to speak right now. But I really needed to get another one out. So anyway, I hope you like this. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.